SummerSlam 2024 had a massive return, it had multiple surprises, and it had some title changes we've been awaiting for a long time, so it's time to talk about my thoughts on SummerSlam 2024. But first off, let's talk about the fact that the Judgment Day has officially imploded, man. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are now together. Dominic turned on Rhea Ripley like I predicted, and he ended up kissing Liv Morgan, so Rhea Ripley's left behind, which means that Jey Uso's probably going to try and come in and, join this storyline, which is going to be very hype. And on top of that, Damian Priest also got cost his title from Finn Balor, man. So the Judgment Day is done. It's imploded. JD, Finn, unsure about Carlito, but JD, Finn, Dom, and Liv, they're done. They're done with Judgment Day. All that stuff is done, bro. So it's just Rhea and Damian pretty much now, and that's going to be very interesting to see where they go next. The Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan match wasn't really that good in my opinion. It was very slow, and it didn't really become interesting until the shenanigans at the end with the double finisher from Liv and Dom throwing the chair in the ring and all that stuff. So it had 5 good minutes and about 10 minutes of pretty much mediocre, but I expected the match to be mediocre overall, so I'm not surprised, right? Then I'm just going to go ahead and skip to Damian Priest and Gunther. They had a very, very good match, man. The fact that they were able to put this match on, and with all the chops, this is pretty much a chop spamming match, but all the chops felt like they hit, they were loud, they were hard, the actual in-ring physicality was good, the finishers were good, and when Finn came out there and held that weird pose and basically cost Damian the match, it was very interesting, man. Damian Priest was a transitional champion, but at least by the end of it, we're done getting bad promos from Damian Priest, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully Gunther can cut better promos, and we know he will put on better matches, so that was fun. And now let's get on to the next part, which was LA Knight finally winning gold in WWE, man. He is your new US champion, and this match he had with Logan Paul was absolutely amazing. First off, I gotta bring up the springboard lariat that Logan Paul did was incredible, and I mean some of the next level athleticism I've ever seen. It was epic. Then you also have the stuff where he was jumping off the top rope. LA Knight has a new, elbow from the top rope. This match was great. They started off with a massive brawl on the outside for about 5 minutes, and then wrestled in the ring and put on a banger for about 10 to 15 more minutes. This match was awesome, and I'm so glad LA Knight finally has a gold championship, man. He finally is the US champion, and going forward, he could have feuds with Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, whoever the heck they want to put in there, but it's going to be fun to see the US champion on the show every week. LA Knight deserves this. It was awesome. And I guess moving on from that, we'll quickly talk about Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn. I'm so glad that Sami Zayn has finally lost the title, man. The title changes that happened in this PLE were perfect. I've been asking for these for a minute now, man. It's been time. Sami Zayn's reign is boring. Gunther's reign is boring. Bayley's reign was boring. So the fact that we're done with all of that now is very, very good to see. This match between Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker, I wish lasted a little bit longer. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And I think they should have given Sami more offense throughout this match instead of him just getting squashed. But they made Bron Breakker look like, the bad A that he is, or that they're calling him. So that makes sense, obviously. And I think Bron Breakker as IC champ will be more interesting than Sami Zayn, because he's younger, he's more interesting, he's a better in-ring competitor at the current moment in terms of what he can do, and in terms of promo work and segments, he's simply on the come up, man. He needs this title. It's going to be great. And then you had Bayley versus Nia Jax, which is arguably the most shocking match of the night, man. I went into this expecting this match to be mid and the worst match on the card besides Cody and Solo, and this match was a shocker. It was one of the best women's matches of the year, of the last couple years, honestly. It was a very, very good match. The powerbomb to Nia Jax, Nia Jax doing the multiple power bombs to Bayley, doing the 3 different, obliterators or oblivion, whatever her finisher's called, to Bayley, that was also very interesting. And to finally see Tiffany Stratton run out there with a briefcase just to, kind of divert Bayley so Nia could get the upper hand and win the match, it was great. Nia deserves this. She's improved on the mic, in the ring, outside of the ring. Everything else is just going very good for Nia Jax. So to finally see Bayley's boring and bad title reign come to an end at the hands of Nia Jax, who's getting better and better as the year goes on, it was pretty awesome to see, and it's going to be interesting to see her play alongside Tiffany Stratton. Now that Tiffany has the briefcase and Nia Jax is a WWE Women's Champion, how's that dynamic going to work over the next few months leading up to Mania and Royal Rumble? We're going to see, but as you can see, it's still very interesting, and it's way more engaging than what was happening with Bayley before. So this is another great title change, just like the one with Gunther and just like the one with LA Knight and Bron Breakker. And then you had CM Punk's return to WWE one-on-one action for the first time in nearly a decade. Him and Drew McIntyre put on a very interesting and good match, I will say. Drew McIntyre obviously carried him in this match because CM Punk was out of breath after about 2 minutes into the match. He was draped over the turnbuckle like he was done, okay? He was out of breath early in this, but it's expected at this point, right? We already knew he wasn't in great shape from the Rumble, but he was in better shape in this match, and he definitely looked better in the ring, so that was nice. Seth Rollins, a special guest referee, lost his cool and nearly cost Punk the match, but then ended up costing Punk. Well, yeah, Punk did get cost the match pretty much, and Drew McIntyre beat CM Punk. I'm glad they let Drew McIntyre win an important match on a big PLE. It's about time. He deserves this moment. It was great. The choreography inside of the match was good. All the moments where Rollins was getting involved and letting things go, all of that stuff was really nice. It was just a very, very well-booked match, and it gave us exactly what we hoped for and exactly what we expected. Just a good match. It didn't need to be amazing or special, but it was a good match, and it passes through and makes things on Raw even more interesting now, because how does CM Punk move on from this? How does Rollins move on from this? How does McIntyre feel that he now finally beat Punk? Like, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next, and this match was honestly good, and it was good to see Punk back in action for the first time in a long time. And then I already kind of talked about Damian Priest versus Gunther, but let's just reiterate, this match was very good, okay? Was it the best World Heavyweight Championship match? Was it the best this? No. But it was a very good match, and it delivered on a lot of different things, like the in-ring physicality, the match choreography, and on top of that, you also have to factor in the crowd was pretty decent in this match. The crowd, the overall tonight was... It was okay. It could have been a lot better. There were certain moments they should have been popped higher, and there's some moments where they just should have popped less. It was just very weird. Wasn't consistent. They were also missing a lot of seats too. I saw the front side of the left or right side of the stadium was tarped off, meaning that there was no one in those seats. So they were missing thousands of people most likely, right? But it is what it is. The crowd was mid, but at the end of the day, this match was very good, and it makes things on Raw more interesting. Finn Balor and Damian Priest are turned against each other. How are Damian and Rhea going to move forward with their careers now after the Judgment Day? You know, their storylines and stuff like that. And now we have Gunther as your World Heavyweight Champion, someone who actually feels fitting of being a World Heavyweight Champion and not just a glorified mid-carder like Damian Priest. So it's going to be very, very fun to see what happens. I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to Gunther's reign. Hopefully it's very, very good. This match was good. I'm glad Damian Priest lost the title, because now in the long run, Judgment Day is more interesting, Damian Priest is more interesting, and so is Finn Balor. Finn Balor is no longer an undercarder loser. I actually care about what he's going to do on Monday Night Raw. To close it out, this is what I believe to be the worst match of the night, is Cody versus Solo. This match was not the best in ring. It was not that great, quite frankly, but the only reason it was happening was for Roman Reigns to officially come back, dude. I am so excited for Roman Reigns to be back, and he was by himself. I do think that Cody and Solo just kind of being knocked out in the ring and then hitting Roman's music, which is the WrestleMania 40 music, by the way. They changed his theme up. I think that I would have had something else kind of lead to Roman coming back, like Paul Heyman coming out and saying his name, or, you know, introducing him, or maybe Jimmy Uso comes out first or whatnot. But the fact that they kind of did it in this fashion where it was just very random when Roman showed up, I feel like the pop was great. It was a great pop, right? It's probably the loudest the crowd was all night. But it could have been even better if there was, first of all, more people, but also if they did it in more of a sense of we knew what was kind of coming. So, I don't know. It was a weird way to bring him in some sense, but everyone was still very hyped when Roman Reigns came in. I mean, he walked out there, he speared Superman punch Solo, the crowd was losing it. The actual in-ring quality of this match, like I said, wasn't really good. Nothing really matters. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came back during this match, which, again, doesn't really matter. They've only been gone for 2 or 3 weeks, max. Then on top of that, at the end of this match, you had Roman Reigns kind of stare at Cody Rhodes while he has the title. So, who knows what's going to happen next with that? Who knows what Roman's going to do with Solo and his new bloodline next? Everything is up in the air. I thought The Rock was going to come back, but he didn't. But Roman Reigns showing up perfectly works. I'm really hyped to see what happens next with him and with Cody, and also with, with the new bloodline of Solo Sikoa. How will Roman respond? I just hope that it all works out, man. Roman Reigns coming back as what it seems to be a good guy is definitely an experiment, okay? We know what happened the first time they tried to make him a good guy. Him as a tribal chief was just so perfect and peak. It's going to be interesting to see how they're able to run this new storyline with Roman Reigns, right? So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very, very interesting next few months on Raw and SmackDown, man. The Judgment Day storyline's more interesting. The title changes were great and intriguing. The match quality was good. And you also have different storylines. Like Jey Uso could join the Judgment Day stuff with Rhea and Damian. Sami Zayn, what's he going to do next? What is Bayley going to do next? Hopefully nothing, because, she's kind of boring and stale now. But at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen with that, right? Roman Reigns, what's he going to do next? Gunther as your World Heavyweight Champion. LA Knight as your U.S. Champion. Will he feud with Carmelo Hayes? What's happening next? Will Orton turn heel and go after Cody? There's so much stuff that's up in the air, and Summerslam did a great job of booking this specific show and giving us good matches and good endings, while also setting up the next few months for SmackDown and Raw leading up to Royal Rumble and then to WrestleMania. So overall, amazing pay-per-view. I would give it, honestly, like a 9 out of 10. There's only a couple things I had a problem with, but it's not better than Mania 40 because Mania 40, Night 2 specifically, was a solid 11 out of 10 minimum. So yes, maybe, we'll see what happens the rest of the year. Survivor Series could be a banger, whatever. But so far, SummerSlam is the second best PLE of the year. Booked to perfection. Matches were very good for the most part. Awesome show. I had a great time. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comment sections below. Roman Reigns is back. We're done with Damian Priest as champ. Let's see what happens next, man. Wunderbar! So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know what you thought about the SummerSlam in the comment section below. And as always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Peace out.